Please subscribe. This video will illustrate the differences between male and female faces. In part 1 of this video, I will compare male and female facial features, bone structure, and musculature. In the second part of this video, I will do a demonstration. During this demonstration, I will review what we've learned in the first part and teach you how to draw the nuances of the male and female face. Let's look at the differences of the male and female skull first, and then we will work our way up to the skin. Male and female children have similar skull shapes, but once children hit puberty, the differences start to appear. Testosterone provokes the growth of certain facial features in males, while female faces remain relatively childlike. The presence of higher levels of testosterone give men a thicker bone structure with more prominent bones. Male faces have a wider, more prominent jaw, chin, and cheekbones. The physical size of the male skull is actually larger than the female skull. A very distinct characteristic of the male skull is a protruding supraorbital ridge, also known as the brow line. Female faces are more rounded and tend to have a narrow jawline. They have a softness that the male face lacks. It carries more fat than the male face, especially in the cheeks. Female faces tend to have thicker lips and a higher arch on the top lip. Female eyebrows generally sit a little higher than male eyebrows, and they usually have a thinner and more arched shape, mainly due to plucking. The female nose tends to be smaller, shorter, and have a narrower bridge and nostrils than the male one. Also, female noses often have a straighter or more concave profile. Before we go on to part 2, I want to make this complex subject as simple as possible, so I took notes for you. If you are watching this on YouTube, just hit the link. If not, go to my website, merrillk.com, and type skull in the search box, and download this cheat sheet for when you draw. First thing that I look for is the size and shape of the skull. As I said before, the male skull is bigger. I could hear the girls out there chuckling, saying, yeah, but you don't have bigger brains, and that might or might not be true, but I make sure that the physical size of the skull is a little bit bigger than the female skull. There's a difference with the eyebrows. There's usually more space on between the the top of the eye and the eyebrows, and I'm making sure to put that in. The big difference that you're going to see from what I'm doing now is with the shading. I'm going to shade this in a little bit, and you'll see the presence of a lot of lines on the male one, and in the female one it's going to be very polished. The female one actually took me longer. I would say these two faces took me about an hour, and it was more, I'd say 40 minutes were given to the female face, and 20 minutes were given to the male face. It might seem to be the opposite because the video just started, or this part of the video just started, but you'll see as we go on a lot more effort has been given towards the female face because I'm trying to smooth things out a little bit more. In the male, I put in the jawline, the jawbone. I'm going to shade that in a little bit. I'm being careful not to go too dark in certain areas, with the exception of the hair for the female, because I know, I want it to be a very smooth blend. Male faces, you see a lot more shadows, so be very careful of that. I'm using a blending stub, or blending stump. I'm putting a little bit of pencil down, and then I'm just smoothing it out and spreading it. You'll see more of a shadow underneath the female lip because it protrudes a little bit more. but there's facial hair underneath the male lip, so that can be a little bit deceptive. Now you're going to really see me work the female face. I'm going to add a little, take a little bit off, add a little, take a little bit off. I'm being very conservative with the female face. The male face, I don't really have to worry about that because there's so much potential for shadows on the male face. Notice the difference in the cheekbones. Notice that the female face is significantly more round than the male face. I realize I'm repeating myself, but you know what? It's the best way to learn. I sound like a broken record, but hopefully you'll remember it. Going very light on the female face. I'm actually doing cross-hatching both with the pencil tip and also with the eraser. I put the dark lines down first and then I hatch some of it away.